Good evening, viewers. This is your anchor, Keprizanya Solo. You're now watching Hornbill TV's Northeast Express. Trade Facilitation Fair on the Team Women-led Enterprises for a Climate-Smart Nagaland was inaugurated at the NBCC Convention Centre. It was inaugurated on Friday to promote climate-smart technologies and strengthen women-led rural enterprises. Inaugurating the fair, Chief Secretary Sentiyanga Imchen IAS said women are the backbone of Nagaland's rural economy and stressed the need to adopt innovation, renewable energy and climate-smart technologies to boost sustainable livelihoods. He highlighted the NSRLM has mobilized over 1.17 lakh rural households into 15,445 self-help groups across 17 districts and urged financial institutions to support women entrepreneurs through easier access to credit. Organized by the SELCO, a foundation in partnership with the Nagaland State Rural Livelihoods Mission, the fair featured climate-smart technologies, financing solutions and products from self-help groups.
Women in Nagaland have always been at the heart of Nagaland's rural economy, making invaluable contribution to agriculture, food processing, livestock rearing, and other livelihood activities. While these traditional strengths continue to sustain our communities, the next phase of growth must be driven by innovation, technology, and climate-smart solutions. Today, women of Nagaland in many areas have excelled over men as entrepreneurs, innovators, and leaders, driving local economies that can bring about change. But this trend has also to percolate down to the women in rural areas. Nagaland's immense potential cannot be fully realized unless women in the rural areas are also empowered. The Nagaland State Rural Livelihood Mission has been taking the initiative in this, with over 1.17 lakh rural households mobilized into 15,445 self-help groups across 1,231 villages, creating a strong foundation for inclusive and community-led development. The self-help group movement has empowered thousands of women, many entrepreneurs, but they still face challenges in accessing modern technology, finance, market, and business support. Therefore, it is our collective responsibility to create an enabling ecosystem that helps them transform their skills and available resources into sustainable and successful enterprises. Climate change today is a reality that cannot be ignored. Rains have become seasonal and erratic. I remember, and many of you will notice,
the Supreme Court on Friday refused to stay the bail granted to Sonam Raghuvanshi, a key accused in the murder of her husband Raja Raghuvanshi. On a plea filed by the Meghalaya government, a bench of Justices M.M. Sundaresh and Shil Nagu however, orally expressed prima facie reservations over the manner in which the High Court had dealt with the case. Sonam was granted bail by the trial court, which was later upheld by the Meghalaya High Court. The Supreme Court stated that it was prima facie inclined to stay the bail order, particularly since this was not a case where the grounds of arrest had not been furnished to Sonam. It, however, decided against passing an interim order of stay after taking into account the fact that Sonam had already been released on bail, had spent some time in incarceration and had sought time to respond to the Meghalaya government's plea. The bench said it would have to adopt a balanced approach, keeping in mind the settled principle that bail is the rule and jail in the exception, irrespective of the seriousness of the allegations. The victim's elder brother, Sachin Raghuvanshi, has expressed hope that the Supreme Court will provide relief to the family. Speaking to media, Sachin appealed to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the President for an early resolution of the case. He reiterated that the family's demand for a CBI investigation, alleging shortcomings in the police probe and claiming that errors in the investigation have delayed justice.
तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट से जो हमको उम्मीद है वो हमारे साथ पूरे देश को उम्मीद है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट जो फैसला सुनाती है वो सही सुनाती है और सबसे देश का चर्चित केस है। आज ये केस वहाँ के जज से लेके प्रधानमंत्री से लेके राष्ट्रपति सबको पता है कि सोनम रघुवंशी ने क्या करा था। उसके बाद भी कभी उसको बेल मिलती है तो उस पर कानूनी कागज की कार्रवाई की जाए, है ना, कानूनी कागज की कार्रवाई की जाए और सीबीआई इस पूरे प्रकरण को अच्छे से देखे कि कागज में कहाँ गलती हुई, किसकी गलती थी। शायद किसी की होगी गलती वजह से नई नई सोनम पैदा होती जा रही है, तो ये सब एक गलती की वजह से लड़के को हौसला बढ़ता जा रहा है। तो मैं राष्ट्रपति जी से, मोदी जी से एक ही पुकार है गई कि इस फैसले को आप थोड़ा गौर से देखिए कि इसमें कितनी गलती किस जगह की हुई है। बाकी हमें पूरी उम्मीद है सुप्रीम कोर्ट से कि हमें राहत मिलेगी।
ये आप लोग ने पहले सीबीआई की भी मांग करी थी और इसका पॉलीग्राफिक टेस्ट भी
हाँ सर, देखो हमने
आप इसमें आगे क्या मतलब और
सर सीबीआई की मांग तो हम शुरू से कर रहे हैं क्योंकि जो कागज में गड़बड़ी हुई है, आज सीबीआई की मांग होती कभी वो जांच पूरी होती तो यह कागज की गड़बड़ी होती नहीं, वो एक कोर्ट जो फैसला सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक पहुंचा है वो हाई कोर्ट से फैसला जाता
लगता है कि पुलिस की जांच में कहीं कोई कमी रह गई, धाराओं में गड़बड़ी हो गई, हेराफेरी हो गई, गलत मिस टाइपिंग हो गई, जो भी त्रुटि हुई हो।
ये सब पुलिस की जो मिस टाइपिंग हुई है आज उसी की वजह से केस इतना उलझ गया है। आज वो उस टाइम ढंग से पढ़ते, वहाँ के डीएसपी साहब, डीआईजी साहब इस चीज़ को बारीकी से जांच करते, क्योंकि आज शिलोंग जो बदनाम हुआ था इन उस चीज़ को भी हल्के में लेके कागज की कार्रवाई ढंग से करी नहीं थी।
जो एक धारा थी जो 103 की जगह 403 लग गई थी, उसमें पुलिस ने बताया था कि ये प्रिंट मिस्टेक है। क्या ये भी एक कारण है कि उसको जमानत मिली?
सर वही तो कारण है कि जमानत क्यों मिली, क्योंकि जब जज साहब कुछ फैसला लेते ही है, देखते हैं तो कागज पूरा चेक करते ही है और उसमें कागज में धारा वो लिखेगी नहीं तो वो कैसे फैसला देंगे उसके अंदर।
उसमें एक बात ये भी सामने आई थी हाईकोर्ट में, जो उन्होंने हाईकोर्ट में जमानत दी थी कि सोनम को जो है गिरफ्तार करते समय उसको ये बताया नहीं था कि उसे क्यों गिरफ्तार किया गया। जो मेमोरेंडम पेश किया उसमें उसे सेना का भगोड़ा बताया था और विदेश जाकर अपराध करने की संभावना जताई थी। तो इस तरह की
ये कौन कौन सी चीज़ें निकाल देते हैं ये हमको समझना है। जब हम सीबीआई की मांग कर रहे हैं, मैं अपने एमपी सरकार से भी चाहता हूँ कि आप भी आगे बात करें कि ऐसा कैसे हो गया है। आज उनकी आज सोनम की वजह से हमारे एल पावन नगर बदनाम हुई है, तो ये कैसे हो सकता है? क्या हमें यहाँ की सरकार थोड़ा ध्यान देगी तो चीज़ों को और आगे बैठाएंगे। वही सीबीआई की मांग कभी हम कर रहे हैं, यदि सरकार मोहन यादव जी यदि इस चीज़ को गौर से सुनते हैं या देखते हैं कभी, तो वो सीबीआई की मांग कर देंगे तो जांच फैसला फटाफट जल्दी लिया जाएगा।
ये आप मानते हैं कि जो भी हुआ है इसको जमानत पे जो बाहर आई है वो पुलिस की लापरवाही है, इन्वेस्टिगेशन सही ढंग से नहीं किया गया?
सर वो तो अब पूरा देश को पता है कि पुलिस की गलती की वजह से ये हुआ है। तभी खुद शिलोंग की पुलिस खुद पहुंची है सुप्रीम कोर्ट कि उनको लगा हमसे गलती तो हो गई है। आज उनकी वजह से आज पूरा शिलोंग बदनाम हुआ है, डिपार्टमेंट बदनाम हुआ है।
आप लोग को जो सरकारी वकील मेघालय का मिला था उसकी भी कोई कमी पेशी नजर आती है आपको?
सर उस
वकील बदलना चाहेंगे?
सर वकील तो बदल ही जाते हैं कि उसके पहले सुप्रीम कोर्ट से वकील होगा। जो वकील अभी हैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट के वो बहुत अच्छे वकील है, जो हमने सुना उनके बारे में। जो राम भगवान को जिता के लाए थे उसको अपने भाई को जिता के लाएंगे वो।
आपका नाम?
सचिन रघुवंशी, राजा का बड़ा भाई।
Assam Rifles and Kachar Police, led by its Udharbond team, have achieved yet another major success. On Wednesday night around 11 p.m. local time, in a joint operation at the Udharbond Highway, Approximately 2,500 bottles of banned cough syrup were seized. Two brothers were arrested by the police on charges of being involved in this drug smuggling incident. Along with team, one auto rickshaw used in smuggling has also been confiscated. The two arrested brothers have been identified as Salim Uddin, 55, and Rebul Uddin, 35, both sons of late Islam Uddin, residents of Latigram in Udharbond. According to police resources and the sources, on the night, Assam Rifles and Udharbond police received secret information that a large quantity of drugs was being transported in an auto from the Latigram site. Based on this information, Assam Rifles along with Kachar police forces laid an ambush. As soon as the auto reached the spot, it was stopped and searched. During a thorough search, the officials recovered 21 cartons of banned cough syrup from inside, totaling 2,500 bottles of cough syrup. The auto driver Rebul Uddin and his brother Salim Uddin were caught red-handed and arrested. The two arrested brothers who were in the custody of Udharbond police on Wednesday night were produced in Silchar court on Thursday.
का मारना
Security forces have intensified counter-insurgency operations across Manipur, recovering a large cache of arms, ammunition, explosives and communication equipment while arresting two militants linked to banned insurgent outfits. According to Manipur Police, coordinated search and intelligence-based operations in Bishnupur, Chandel and Imphal East districts led to the seizure of assault rifles, pistols, grenades, bombs, ammunition, radio communication sets and other warlike stores. Security forces also arrested an active cadre of the band Pre-Pak and another militant belonging to the band RPF-PLA in separate operations carried out in Imphal West and Imphal East districts. In a separate development, police arrested a suspect in connection with a housebreaking and theft case involving stolen food supplies, while investigations are continuing to determine his involvement in other burglary cases. Meanwhile, security forces demolished 4 bunkers during an operation in Ukhrul district as part of ongoing efforts to restore law and order. Another update where the Kuki Women Organization for Human Rights on Friday staged a massive sit-in protest at the Wall of Remembrance, condemning the killing of Lin Min Sang Haokip at Songkong village in Henglep subdivision on June 16 and alleging that he was the victim of an extrajudicial killing. It was by Central Security Forces. Thousands of women participated in the protest, demanding justice for the deceased and calling for an independent, fair and impartial investigation into the incident. Addressing the gathering, KWOHR President Ngai Nikim alleged that Lin Min Sang Haokip was an innocent civilian and not a member of any underground organization, contrary to the claims made by security forces. According to her, Lin Mingsang had been staying at home due to health issues when security forces launched an operation at Songkong village on June 16th. Hearing heavy gunfire and explosions, he reportedly ran out of his house in fear but was allegedly shot dead by security personnel. Demanding accountability, the KWOHR president urged the government to identify and prosecute the security personnel allegedly involved in the incident and ensure they are punished in accordance with the law. She warned if justice is denied, the organization would intensify its agitation through different forms of democratic protest until those responsible are brought to justice.
Okay. Here I am Mrs. Ngai Kim, President of the Kuki Women Organization for Human Rights. Today we are organizing this sit-in protest in against of the extrajudicial killing of Lin Mingsang, who was shot dead by the security forces on 16 June at Songkong village. This Lin Mingsang, honestly, he is the civilian, just innocent boy who was due to health problems staying inside the house. Hearing the gunshots and the bombings, he was coming out from the house just to escape from that bombing and shooting and all. But he was shot dead by the security forces, and not only killing him, but after they shot him dead, his clothes was removed and he was dressed in a camouflage so as to show to the world that he was involved in the UG's underground groups, but he was not at all. And the shirt which he was wearing, which was removed before wearing him, the camouflage was also found by the residents of that village. And from those informations, we really prove that Lin Mingsang does not involve in any uses. He was just a civilian, but the security forces who shot him dead want to make themselves, just to satisfy themselves, they just claim him to be the uses. That is why with the Kuki Women Organization Human Rights, I'm very much standing with Lin Mingsang. We want him to get justice. To get him justice, we want the concerned authority to book the persons, the security forces who were involved in killing of Lin Mingsang. As I have said before, we demand the security forces who were involved in killing Lin Mingsang to be booked and given the benefit punishment according to the law of the land. And furthermore, if he is not given justice, if he is not given justice by the concerned authority or the government, that the agitation which we are doing today will not be the last. We will carry on different forms of agitation to get justice for Lin Mingsang. We will be handing over to DC to reach to the National Human Rights Commission, as well as to the Home Minister.
Assam Rifles and the Directorate of Revenue Intelligence DRI jointly seized 55,626 bottles of codeine-based cough syrup worth rupees 1.27 crore from Agartala railway station in Tripura, officials said on Thursday. The seizure was made during a joint operation launched on specific intelligence inputs about the suspected movement of a narcotics consignment through the railway network. The recovered cough syrup, allegedly meant for illegal transportation, has been handed over to the DRI for investigation and legal action. Officials said no details have been disclosed regarding the destination of the consignment or whether any arrests have been made. Further investigation is underway to trace the source of the consignment and identify those involved in the alleged smuggling racket.
इधर भाई डॉक्यूमेंट करा दी ওই যে বাইটাকে ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
আমি এটাই কইতে দেন বাইকে থেকে আমি ফটো লইলে জানি এটাই আমি না না
That's all for now. For more updates, keep watching Hornbill TV.